Well, hey, mamas, welcome to Love to Learn 3. Jessica Coulter here, your hostess and the CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Our guest today is an entrepreneur and a success coach. His name is Jeff Heggie. So, Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Jessica, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to speak with your group here. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I am excited to talk about goals because I know that's one of the things that you help a lot of your clients with, and it's a study skill that I teach teens, but I also know that confidence is one of your focuses too. So I'm kind of curious, what's the connection between goals and confidence? I think that's where I want to start.
I think they're really tied together because as we've all got goals to some degree. And if we go about them right, it's really there's a systematic path to how you're going to achieve your goals and how you're going to be successful in life. And when we're following the right things and we're getting results, that's really where confidence comes in. And, when I work a lot with athletes and, student athletes and young kids as well, and confidence is such an important factor to help them develop into strong youth, strong adults. And, I talk with them all the time. The things I'm teaching you right now, especially the athletes, I'm helping you to become more of a confident athlete. This is what we're focused on. But there's not one thing I'm teaching you that you're not going to use the rest of your life. I look at a lot of the things, the principles that I live by today, and the values that I have were taught to me from coaches and stuff as I grew up.
Definitely. Definitely. I 100% believe every single study skill I teach is a life skill, and confidence is a life skill and a study skill. So is goal setting. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, something you said though has me kind of interested. I think I heard you say that essentially more confidence as we achieve our goals. Is that kind of what I heard, Jeff? That basically we feel more confident the more goals we accomplish, or just how if as soon as they're accomplished, kind of thing.
I think there's an importance to achieving goals because we do have that feeling of confidence and success. I was talking with some of my athletes the other day and did a training on it, and I said, what is your definition of success? And everyone spoke about achievement, hitting these goals and all that. And I said, I agree with that. Success is achievement, but it's also fulfillment. And and I think your confidence is the same thing. It takes achievement and fulfillment to help you build your confidence.
Mhm.
And one of the things we do with that, I have them write out their goals every single day. But one thing we always do is we're always moving that needle. As we get closer to goals, we set bigger goals. And so I'll have them go back and say, okay, what were your goals that you wrote out 6 months ago? And there's so many times that I've seen them do that, and they're like, wow, I'm actually living this goal now. I've achieved it and I'm living it. And so that's where I think fulfillment comes in. They've had that achievement, they're doing that thing, but having that fulfillment of, yeah, I did it. I think that's really where the confidence and success really compounds.
Wow. I'm so happy to hear you say you have them write it out, because that's one of the things I do in my program is I like to lean into the learning styles. And so to me, my kiddos that are very auditory, I tell them, say it first thing in the morning when you wake up, before you go to bed, whatever you want. But then my kinesthetic, my visual kids, I tell them, it's like you get it creative as you want. So I mean, I don't know if you have your athletes making the fun posters and all the silly stuff, but I tell my kids, I'm like, make something, put it on the back of your bathroom, like bedroom door, like put it on the bathroom mirror so you'll see it every morning, just so that way, yeah, the more you write it, the more you see it, the more it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I know you've got Tammy Matheny here. We recently did a training with our athletes on creating vision boards. And she shared her story of a vision board that she recently just achieved a bunch of things. So it was really cool. And I have one actually just behind my computer here. But then I've got a mindset journal, and in my mindset journal, every day, and we're going to talk about these, but I've got the mindset questions that I go through, and then my section of writing out the goals. And it's keeping it front in mind. It brings I don't know if you talk with who you work with, if you talk about your reticular activating system, your RAS, but it's such a powerful tool that we have within ourselves to help us achieve our goals. Our RAS is basically a filter system within ourselves that filters out the things that are important to us. And when we're writing out our goals every day, our RIS is identifying that, hey, this is something important. So just to give you an example, when we moved from Canada to Arizona, on the way down, my daughter's car hatched, had to get rid of it, got her a new car when we got down here. And when we got here, I got her a little Spider Mitsubishi convertible. It was a really cool little sports car. I'd never seen one in my life. But all of a sudden we get this car and I start seeing this car everywhere.
Mm.
Now, it wasn't that the car wasn't always around. I just never cared about it enough to notice it.
Mhm.
But when there's something that's important to us, we notice things. And so when you're writing out your goals every day and you know that's something important, you're going to notice things that are going to help you achieve those goals. And so that's one of the reasons we want you to write out your goals every single day.
I like that. So just basically, the fact is that you're telling your brain, hey, this is the goal I'm working towards, and I'm going to do what it takes to make this happen, take the right actions, do the right things. Hmm.
Exactly. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Now, is that something that our teens should do on their own? I mean, we've obviously have mamas that are watching and listening. So, I mean, is that something they should be reminding their teens? Like, what's the kind of, I know you tell your athletes, so I'm curious, are parents telling their teens to do this, or what's that piece of it?
Yeah, I think an important part of our overall success is creating success habits. And the thing about it is it is habits. It's creating a daily routine. And there's so many of these things that they're easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. So
Yes.
it's having the discipline to do it. And we can talk about this more as we go too, is that brings in the whole accountability part of it.
Mhm.
But, as we were talking before with my mindset questions, and they'll be able to get those for free at the link you're going to provide. But in my mindset journal, it has those questions. And so it's just a habit every day of going through those mindset questions. And basically, they're questions that are going to help prime you for the day. You know, what are you grateful for? What's the most important things to be focused on today? And one of them is, what are you going to do today to step outside of your comfort zone?
Mhm.
But anyways, there's a list of questions to go through every day, then writing out those goals. And then in the evening, just a quick recap of some evening mindset questions. And so as a parent, yes, I would encourage my child to spend 3-4 minutes every day just to do this. And the way I look at it, I think as Darren Hardy calls it, bookending your days. You can control how your day starts, you can control how your day ends. You can't always control everything in between. But if we start the day right, we can really prime ourselves for success. And then we can kind of pull it all together at the end and prepare ourselves for the following day. But I would really encourage, like I said, it's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. So you've got to get to the point where you're creating the habits of get up in the morning, fill out the mindset questions, write out your goals. And as you start seeing the results from it, then hopefully it turns into a habit.
I gotcha. Okay. I'm liking that control in the beginning and the end of the day. I don't know if I've really ever thought about that, but yeah, I mean, when you get up in the mornings, up to you, the actions you take between getting up and whatever you have to do, that's your choice. Hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. Something I actually learned not too long ago is that there's a difference between kind of getting yourself kind of ready for the day, like energized for the day with your kind of routine versus just getting straight to work. Because I think about for me, I just usually sit down at my desk and go. I don't think about what to do between bed and here. And yeah, I don't think students do always either.
Right. And the thing with the evening mindset questions is basically one of the things it's talking about is what are you doing tomorrow that's important that one, your subconscious to your conscious mind can prepare yourself for. So many people start their day and okay, what am I doing today? There's not a structured plan around it. But when you can say, okay, here's what I'm doing tomorrow, here's the most important things, then your subconscious mind is already working on it. How am I going to be successful tomorrow? And you're setting yourself up for success.
Definitely. That's something, Jeff, we haven't really talked about when we talk about goals. To me, one of the important things is like the short-term goals and the long-term goals. Because I see a lot of times the teens I work with is they don't have a goal, which always makes me so sad. It's like, well, why are we doing this homework? Why are you in this class? Like, what are you gonna do like when you graduate? And they're like no idea for any of them. But then I also feel like they pick something like I want to get better grades, or I want to do this well on the team, or I want to do this, but then they don't know how to do it, or they don't know how to break it down. And then all of a sudden they're like, I can't do it because it's just too hard or it's too far out there. So I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on the breaking down the goals, or kind of how you teach it.
Yeah. So what I like to do to start with is I just say, okay, let's sit down and I mean, put yourself out a year from now. And looking back, it's been the best year of your life. Everything worked out for you. What are those things that happened that made that the best year of your life? What were the grades that you achieved? What were the achievements that you had in these different areas of your life that made this the absolutely best year of your life? And as they reflect on that and visualize that, that's where we start pulling out, okay, there's your goal. That's the goal that we're going to set for you for a year from now. But then it's really easy to set a goal like that. And then, just like a New Year's resolution, by the end of January, it's like, no, forget about
Mhm.
it. Not going to happen or whatever. So then what we need to do is put a plan together
Yes.
and say, okay, if that's the goal, if that's where you want to be in 12 months, what are the goals you have to achieve in January, in February, that are going to compound so that at the end of the day, you've done that? And then what we do, if we're looking at January, okay, that's a big goal. If you look at that big goal, it might be overwhelming. But when you break it down to just what you need to do in January to do that, it's not so big. But to achieve that January goal, what do you have to do each week?
Mhm.
And then we break each week down to daily. What do you have to do daily? And then what I do with the people I work with is we have daily accountabilities, and they're only a 10-minute call with 10 people. And we get on there and they'll say, okay. And the important thing is, just like with bookending your days, there's so many urgent things that happen every single day. You've got to remember what is the most important thing you've got to do that is going to help you achieve that goal.
Mhm.
Because, it's the whole concept of how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? That's a big elephant at the end of the year. But when you're taking one bite at a time, it all compounds and you can do some amazing things. So we'll get on these accountability calls and they'll say, yesterday I committed to doing this and I did it. Or they might say, you know what, I didn't do it, but this is how I'm going to make up for it.
Mhm.
And today I'm going to do this. I've got an accountability coach. And I remember when I first started with him, my calls were at 6 a.m. And I got on the call. There was 10 of us on the call. I said, today, this is what I'm going to do as my accountability. And the call ended. From that point on, my day didn't go one bit as planned, but it was a really good day. It was a productive day, got so much done. And at the end of the day, I was like, that was such a good day. But you know what? I didn't do what I said on that accountability call, but I'm justified, right? I, it was a good day. Things just didn't go as planned. And then I got thinking, I'm like, there's no way I'm getting on that call at 6 a.m. with my accountability coach and 9 other people and saying I didn't do what I did. It doesn't matter what excuse I have. I'm not saying I didn't do that. And so I completed those things. And that's where accountability comes in. You've got to have an accountability coach or an accountability partner that's not going to let you off the hook, that's going to
Mhm.
hold you accountable to these little micro, most important thing that you need to do that day so that by the end of the week, you've achieved a week worth of most important things. And by the end of a month, you've done 4 weeks worth of them. And all of a sudden you get to the end of the year and it's like, we've done a lot.
Definitely. Definitely. I like the accountability piece of it. I do. I honestly, I don't have a coach myself, but I have one of the programs I went through. That was one of the things we had to do was choose the accountability partner. And I'd honestly, for many years, Jeff, been like, I don't want to work with somebody. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to have to talk to people, other than, people I want to talk with. Right. And honestly, it's made a big difference in my business. It's nice to know, like you say, this is what I thought I was gonna do. Did it? Did I not? And I don't want to look bad or be embarrassed, right? I think we all know how that feels.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I feel like though when we're talking teens, the easy answer is that mom or dad's accountability partner or the accountability coach. And but we know that's not always going to work well. So what kind of advice do you have to help teens? Because I talk about it briefly in my program. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it's when we talk about motivation. The fact is that everybody
Okay.
needs to know kind of what we're working on, what we say we're going to do, but then figuring out who's going to really check in with you.
When it comes to teens, I mean, obviously the first step is the buy-in. They've got to understand that, hey, this is going to help me to find my success, and they've got to buy into the path. I don't think a mom or dad is the best accountability partner. Um, I think it's someone outside. And, with some of our athletes, we have athletes that use each other as accountability partners for it that don't know each other personally. I've got one in Maine that works with one in California. And, they don't do it on a live call. They do it on text. This is what I said I was going to do yesterday. I did it. This is what I'm going to do today. And they just share that every morning. And so, because it's easy as a parent to justify, yeah, you had too much homework yesterday, you couldn't get it all done. I understand. But that's not how accountability works. If you said you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And so that's an important part. Now, the other part, I talk about um, the importance of getting them to buy in. I think another part of your goals and everything you're trying to do is really understanding your why. What is your purpose? Why are you doing it in the first place? Because that's when things get tough, when you don't feel like doing something, you can reflect on that. What is my true why? And what is it that's going to help push me through to make sure I do these things?
Hmm. I'm 100% behind that too, Jeff. So this makes me excited when it's like, yes, 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 I can agree with what you're saying. It's like, yay.
I did an interview with a friend of mine. He's a world champion cowboy, and he talked about all the work that he put in to master his skill. And he says, with that preparation, I felt like I deserved it. I felt like I deserved it more than my competitors because I knew I'd put in more work than they have. And so, whatever that your youth are working on, whether it's their schooling, whether the passion they have, preparation is such an important part of developing that confidence.
Hmm. I can see that a lot. Yeah. And I actually did an article myself, Jeff, where we talked about over preparation, like the fact that you study more than you think you need to. And yeah, kind of like what you're talking about with the cowboy, that yes, for sure. The fact
Yeah,
is that you know it without a doubt. Hmm.
yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Well, I know we've talked about your mindset questions. So like you said, I'll make sure the links down below so everybody can grab those. But then I don't think we've talked about your kind of your VIP gold gift. So what, if mamas haven't bought that VIP pass yet, you want to tell us what they can get from you?
Absolutely. So in that, it's actually a part of one of our offers with the Confident Athlete program. But just like I said, it's great for athletes. It's great for adults. It's great for anyone. But in our Success Secrets, which is a free gift that I'll offer, it offers everything from 20 ways to master your self-talk. I talked about self-talk, and there are resources and tools to help you have better self-talk. That's one of the things. We give you 20 resources to do that. There's 20 exercises and resources to help you have better body language. There's a 7 levels deep training that I do that helps you really discover what your true why is. Even myself, I've always thought I understood what my why was until I went through this process of the 7 levels deep. And then I was like, you know what? I had a really surface level why that wasn't real motivating, didn't really push me, but I thought I understood it. After going through this process, I realized that there's a much deeper why that is motivating, that pushes me on a daily basis. And along with writing out my goals every day, I write out my why every day. And on our accountability calls, before they do their accounting, they state their why. So, and then there's actually, for the athletes part included in that package, There's a visualization script that our athletes use to create a visualization script that they go through before every competition. It could be used before a test. It could be used before a musical performance, anything that you're doing. It's just a visualization. You know, everything we do is created twice, once in our mind and once in reality. And so visualization is a powerful tool to help us really achieve our goals.
Wow. Sounds like that's way more than one gift, Jeff. So that's awfully generous of you. So thank you for that. Definitely.
You're
So
welcome.
another reason for mamas to grab that VIP pass. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, before we officially wrap it up, I'd love for you to share your website, your socials, all that good stuff, because I know we could have talked a lot more about so many other things. So I would love for mamas to know where to find you online.
For sure. Thank you. My website is jeffheggie.com. It's JEFFHEGGIE.com. All of my social media is Jeff Heggie Coaching. And so most active on Instagram and TikTok probably. But yeah, I'm on pretty much all of them.
Nice.
And actually, I guess YouTube has a lot on there. I've got over 1,000 podcasts that I've done between my different shows and stuff. So that's all on there as well.
There we go. That's where my mind first went, was your website, then YouTube. And I was like, is he going to mention it? Is he not? I wasn't sure.
And you know what? All of the links are available at jeffheggie.com.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Jeff, I have learned a lot. So thank you so very much for being here. And thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this and love what you're doing and really appreciate that.
Yeah, you are most welcome. And thank you so much, mamas, for being here. Please take what Jeff said and implement it, and keep an eye on your email for your next interview. Bye, mamas.